So here we have Inktober 52, week 5 and week 6. Week 5, the prompt was balloon, and I was really excited about this because I knew instantly I wanted to do a hot air balloon. I really like them, and I have lots of reference pictures of my own. So my task here was to try and do this in black, white and grey, and it was really difficult not to put lots of colour on because my photograph, the balloon, looked so lovely with the coloured stripes. But I persevered with black, white and grey, and I really got into trying to draw the texture of the fabric. It was quite difficult at first, but once I got into it, I really did enjoy it. And I think what I tried to do is emphasize the little sections of the fabric to show that the balloon was filling and it wasn't completely filled up with hot air, but it was the billowing, how it billows out and fills out with hot air. And when it came to the actual flame, that was a little bit more difficult to do that with just black and white. So I did put a little bit of colour with an Inktense yellow pencil just to show that the flame is there. I really didn't do much with the detail. The basket and the burner, they're quite irrelevant to the rest of the picture. I just wanted that quite small and insignificant. And I think what happens is with balloons, you don't realise till you actually work out the dimensions how tiny the baskets can be compared to the actual size of the balloon. I really could have done with doing this bigger, but I persevered with the 6x4. But this definitely will be a picture I'll do bigger at a later date and add some lovely vibrant coloured inks too to make it look beautiful. But at the end of the day, I was pleased with it. I think it was a challenge just using black, white and grey, and I am quite pleased with the way it turns out. And I think if I had been able to do bigger, I could have put more detailed definitions into the actual basket and the burner. But you know, my thing was the balloon. I wanted to do the balloon. I did think, do I just eliminate the basket altogether? And I thought, well, we'll just leave it there and we will just do our best with the subject as we've got it here. And week 6 was hammer. Now I was totally uninspired by hammer. I had to have a little think about this, and then I thought I'm just going to do something very simple, a claw hammer and a row of nails. And to make the definition between the wood of the handle of the hammer and the piece of wood that the nails are in, I used warm grey for the wood and cool grey for the actual metal of the hammer and the nails. Used a bit of Pitt White's pen to smooth out the grey and put some highlights on as well. So I think, yes, having to get the definition between the two textures, I hope that I've achieved the definition between the two different textures just by using the shades of grey. I know that the wood and the handle do look slightly brown, but that is a warm grey, a Pitt brush pen warm grey. So it did require a little bit more thought. When I had the row of nails, all three standing upright and nicely spaced, it did look good, but I thought I just want to change that and just tweak that a little bit because it's very common with a hammer that you can just catch a nail at an angle and bend it over, which is very annoying. And I just thought it would make a slightly more interesting picture to have one nail at an angle rather than a little row of them. So that's what I did for that. And two completely different pictures, one that I was very enthusiastic about and one that I didn't really feel very enthusiastic about. But once I've seen the two together, I was quite happy with the results. So on to my next picture, which I'm working on at the moment, which is dinner. And that was also a tricky one for me to work out what I wanted to actually draw. And my filming schedule's gone slightly out of line with what I was intending to do because I've had a lot of people quite ill at home, and also we've had storms and flooding into my house, which hasn't been very good. So I will get back on track with that, and hopefully this horrible wet and windy and stormy weather will go away. But at least with one thing, when it's too horrible to be outside, you don't mind sitting in and doing your pictures.